watching us from. This is the Entrepreneur Spotlight, and we are here today at Startup Incubator, and my guest is Muhammed. Good day, Muhammed, and thank you for honoring our invitation.
Good day, Binta. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. Now we would like you to introduce yourself to our beautiful audiences.
Thank you very much, Binta. My name's Muhammed Danso, and I work for Startup Incubator.
Muhammed, when was Startup Incubator established?
Startup Incubator was established in 2015 as the first business incubator in the Gambia.
Okay. What actually was the purpose? Why did you people come up with such an initiative in the country at the time?
So you will agree with me that there is a lot of youth unemployment rate in this country.
Sure.
As we speak, we have about 41.2% and counting when it comes to employment. But also we've seen so many people getting into business, but the level of innovation and creativity in their business ideas has really been lacking. And so that is why the incubator was set up. Our vision is really to help build a generation of entrepreneurs in the Gambia. And this was set up by a young visionary Gambian called Aliou Jallow, who is currently in Canada studying.
So since your establishment, what have Startup Incubator achieved so far?
So Startup Incubator, basically, we started out as a project that was designed to support 20 young entrepreneurs in the Gambia with a business incubation program. And so this was actually funded by the US State Department through the US Embassy, Banjul. They've been the original, the first sponsors of the Startup Incubator program. In fact, they helped the establishment of the incubation program in the Gambia. So since then, we've able to grow our programs and different activities, and we're also able to target more entrepreneurs and reach out to entrepreneurs across the country. As we speak, we've supported over 2,000 entrepreneurs and established more than 700 businesses from 2015 to date. And these businesses are in different diverse sectors, from agribusiness to fashion, renewable energy, the climate, environment, you name it.
Which is very important for our development. Now, since establishment in 2005, as you rightly mentioned, of course you have coached many young entrepreneurs. Now, what I want to know is what services you will get to see some of the areas that need much attention. What services do you offer, and to who actually do you offer those services?
Yeah, so basically it's 2015, not 2005.
Okay.
So basically we have different programs here in the incubator. One of our signature programs, being the incubation program, was one of the first programs that we started with. And this program looks at people that have already tested their business ideas, say they've already developed a minimum viable product. So this incubation program pretty much helps them to consolidate their ideas. And during this incubation program, they undergo hands-on intensive training. And these trainings will look at business development areas in terms of marketing, in terms of helping them to develop their business plans. But also these trainings go alongside with coaching and mentoring. So we have within the incubator, we have trained up to 25 coaches across the country, and these coaches continue to provide that hand-holding support to these entrepreneurs. But also we also work with industry experts that also provide that high-level mentoring to these businesses. So we help them to also develop their business plan. So by the time they are done with the incubation program, they have a complete business plan, and they are also able to take their businesses to the next level. So what we've also realized is most of the people that will apply or want to get into the incubation program do not have the prerequisites to get into the incubation program.
Sure.
So we work with ITC through the Youth Empowerment Project to launch the first design thinking program in the Gambia. So what we do with the design thinking program basically is to help these early stage entrepreneurs or idea stage entrepreneurs to validate their ideas. So we help them to go and empathize with their communities, define what the problems are, to identify their needs and challenges, and they're able to now develop a business idea or a solution based on their findings in their different communities and markets. And so once they test these ideas out and they have the minimum viable product, so they are now qualify to apply and get into the incubation program. So we've also established 2 sector-specific programs, because when you looked at our GDP over the years, fashion and agriculture really stood out when it comes to their contribution to our GDP. And also what we do here at the incubator is we respond to the needs of the people, just like we will tell the businesses to respond to the needs of their customers. We do the same thing. So these 2 sector-specific programs are in agriculture and fashion.
Okay.
So what we do with these programs is we bring together entrepreneurs within the fashion value chain and take them through an accelerated program where they will also go through business development trainings. They will have access to some technical support. And so, similarly to the the agribusiness program, we do the same thing in this program as well. So recently, we've also launched a scale-up program. So this scale-up program pretty much for people that are already in business, they have established businesses, but they want to grow. Because what we've realized is so many people already in business, but they are stuck.
Absolutely.
So the scale-up program pretty much helps them to really go back to their businesses and look at what is keeping them where they are, what is preventing them from really growing their businesses to the next level, and so we help them to scale their businesses.
Interesting. So it's like you don't only offer indoor trainings, you also go out to communities and reach out. What has your experience been like since you started that, and what have you observed which has become a prominent problem in the Gambia, and what possible solutions have you offered for those?
Yeah, so that would just take me back to the level of creativity and innovation in most of the businesses, but also people getting into business not understanding their why. We've seen so many Me Too businesses. Just because Binta is doing a business and I think Binta is successful in this business, I want to do the same business because I think I will also be successful.
Copycat.
Yeah, so you can call them copycat. So that have been a challenge for most people. But so what we try to do mostly in our programs is to help them to find out their whys. Why do they choose to do a particular kind of business? What motivates them? So their motivation for us is very important. Are you only motivated because you want to make money, or you're motivated because you want to make a change? So you've seen a problem, or there's a need that is not met that you want to help the people to meet. So because, and again, most people think that you need lots of money to start business. And as a result, most of them have very good ideas, but they don't want to start because they want to wait for that money to come. And if you sit and wait for that money to come, the money will never come. You might die with the idea. So we pretty much, during our programs, we help them to really identify what their whys are, what motivates them, and then they are able to align that with specific needs or challenges or problems that people face in their communities.
So you're saying for someone to start a business, you don't actually need money to start business.
So yeah, so not, you don't actually need money. You will need money, of course, but for me, if I will advise you as an entrepreneur, I will tell you the first thing you need is the right idea.
The right idea.
If you need the right idea, and then you will need money to run the business. Once you have the right idea, you already have paying customers or customers that are willing to buy your products or service because you are able to create value for them. Because when you have your product doesn't sell. It is the value of the product that sells. So that value creation is very important. Once the people see the need for your product or your service, money will definitely come. And then you will need that money to now to run your business, and to scale up business and grow. And most importantly also, the moment you start making profit, you need to know that you have to reinvest those profits back into the business if you really want to grow.
Okay. Now that takes me to a very important question. There has been a lot of misunderstandings and a lot of narrations regarding the said topic, in which your organization is focusing on entrepreneurship. So can we talk about entrepreneurship? What is entrepreneurship, and who actually is an entrepreneur?
So entrepreneurship, there is no one definition to what entrepreneur is. But what is certain is entrepreneurs are problem solvers. Entrepreneurs are people that see a problem or a need and are able to develop innovative solutions to solve that problem. So they are not just motivated by making lots of profit, but their motivation is about how can I make a difference.
And they are not necessarily only problem solvers. They have to provide a solution as well.
They have to provide a solution to whatever problem that is out there or to whatever need that is out there.
Sure.
So once they're able to identify a problem or a need and they're able to develop innovative solutions, because entrepreneurs, they don't really like doing the same boring thing every day. They want to challenge themselves. They want to break barriers. They want to make a difference.
To be unique.
They want to be unique,
way.
exactly, in their own way, and create new things, come up with new innovations. This is what entrepreneurs do.
Now, we are talking about the issue of entrepreneurship, and you have young people that are really looking forward to be entrepreneur. A lot are already in business. What does it take for someone to be or become an entrepreneur?
So, there have been this debate around whether entrepreneurs are born or are made. So
a very powerful debate.
Yeah, so that debate has been around for quite a very long time.
Okay.
So, but I think there are specific traits that you need to have.
What do you think? Are they born or are they made?
So for me, I think it could be both. But
so you are sitting on the fence.
I'm sitting on the fence, and the reason is even whereas you are a born entrepreneur,
okay,
there are certain skill sets that you need to hone. If
Absolutely.
you don't hone those skill sets, you can never be a successful entrepreneur.
Right.
Yeah, and also it's important for people to know that there are also social entrepreneurs. These are people that are not really profit oriented, but they just want to have, for example, startup incubator. We are a social enterprise, and there are other social enterprises also out there that really are only focused on solving problems. Making sure people's life are at ease. Which
is important, because a lot of people would think all entrepreneurs are in for money. So it's also important you elaborate on the issues of the social impact entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and in fact, what drives an entrepreneur's journey is not the money. What drives the entrepreneur's journey is a need or a problem or a challenge. Let's say, for example, when you hear people complaining about problems, you don't complain about problems. You think about how can I solve the problem. For instance, let's say have somebody, a farmer around your compound that sells watermelon, and after 1 week, if this farmer is not able to sell out the watermelon, it might either perish, and then it causes lots of bad smell, bad odor around the environment.
Yeah.
Instead of continuously complaining about that, you start asking yourself, what can I do to make sure that we don't have this bad smell within our community? What can I do to make sure this farmer doesn't lose her watermelon, his or her watermelon? Then you can start maybe say, okay, maybe I can process the watermelon, or maybe I can do this or I can do that. So you see, at that point you are solving a problem, and not just thinking about money first. And obviously, if you're able to solve a problem, it's just like when you're sick and you go to a hospital and you tell the doctor, you explain to the doctor what you're going through, what your experience has been, and the doctor is able to provide you with the cure to your sickness. What happens? You definitely want to pay for that. Absolutely. Because you know it's going to cure you. So if you have the right idea that is going to solve people's problem, obviously, if there is value for them, they will definitely pay for your service. It will
pave way for support, for investors to step in.
Exactly.
That's also very important. Now, another thing I want us to discuss is with your experience since you people started, what has been a common trend in and among entrepreneurs aside the innovative issue?
So I think the common trend would be, to be quite honest, we have so many entrepreneurs doing great things, but also we have a lot more of them that I would rather say they are reluctant. They want to scale, but they're having so many drawbacks.
Okay.
And some of these drawbacks are not even external, they are internal, it's within themselves. Let's say, for example, there are certain kinds of investment you need to have in your business for you to grow. You have to have certain prerequisites in your business. Let's say, for example, you have an entrepreneur who is seeking out for funding to grow his business or her business. You ask them whether they have a pitch deck. They don't even have a pitch deck.
Sure.
They don't want to invest money into their business. So they want grants and other people to continue investing in their businesses, but they don't want to invest in their businesses. Now, most of the time what happens is if there are opportunities, now these opportunities, now you see, if you're in business, you have to make sure you prepare yourself for those opportunities that might come.
But I also think...
But also if these opportunities are there and you are not ready, internally your business, you're not prepared, you don't register your business, you don't have a business account, all right? You don't even have a pitch deck. All right, like all those documentations are not with you. Now you have an opportunity that says these documentations are the requirements, and you do not have them. You apply for those opportunities, and you do not qualify for those opportunities. It's given to the same set of people, and the reason why it's given to those same sets of people is because they've made sure that their businesses are ready for those opportunities. So I think it is important for entrepreneurs to also know that they need to make sure their businesses within internally, they prepare themselves for
investors,
for whatever opportunity that might come their way. You know, and in fact, as an entrepreneur, you need to spot out for those opportunities and capitalize on them. But how do you capitalize on them if you do not prepare yourself for those opportunities?
Yeah, but let's say as a young person living far away from the combos, perhaps the individual does not know all those things. Perhaps the individual does not know that I needed to have a pitch deck for my business, I needed to do this, I needed to do that. Don't you think that social entrepreneurs like you and co should be, or should I say, what are you people doing to help those people be aware of their states?
Yeah, so I think a lot have been done.
Okay.
Since 2017, a lot have been done. In terms of raising awareness as to what opportunities are available. Myself, I have traveled a length and breadth of part of the areas in the country, and now because of technology, disseminating information is also very easy. Especially using WhatsApp groups and other mediums. So in fact, that is why we recruited coaches across all regions in the country.
Great.
And so we make sure that when we have opportunities, these opportunities are pretty much disseminated. As we speak, we have a team in LRR right now, and a few days ago they were in URR, and they've gone as far as Forekunda, as far as Wuli, you know, just to disseminate some of the opportunities we have and to even help them to apply for opportunities. But also there are also certain challenges in terms of, let's say for example, business formalization. As we speak, if they want to formalize their business, there's an entrepreneur in Basse wants to formalize their businesses, they have to travel all the way to Combo, the area, to formalize their businesses or send their documentation. So we also try to help them to facilitate those formalization processes. I know there have been lots of advocacy and lots of work that the government is also doing recently with their partners to ensure that those business formalizations are actually available in those regions, so that they will not have to travel to come all the way to Greater Banjul area just to formalize their businesses.
Important. It's really good that those areas are included for them to be part and be eligible for some of these things that young people here are opportune to have. All right, viewers, we will take our first break. Do stay tuned. I will be right back. Creativity, uniqueness, elegance are all about fame. Are you looking for uniquely designed Ankara t-shirts, hoodies, shoes, or Ankara-made bags? Or are you a passionate beads lover looking for beaded bags and shoes? Well, worry no more, because Femme has you covered. We make all these products with elegance and creativity you ever desire. Send us a message on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook at Femme Handicrafts, or call us on 21-65707 or 399-6585. Order now to rock our products that gives you more than the value you crave. At Femme, every product is a piece of art. Welcome back from that short break, and here with Muhammed Danso, the program coordinator of Startup Incubator. So Muhammed, now when a young person is set and already have an idea, what is the next step?
So when you have an idea, what you need to do is to validate that idea.
Okay.
Now, how do you even get that idea is the question. How do you even go about identifying that idea? Now, the first thing you do is you have to be very observant. You have to observe your environment. You have to observe your community, but also you have to empathize with the people within your community or within the market that you are targeting. And how do you empathize with them is by talking to them, understanding what their problems are, understanding what their needs are, what their aspirations are.
Sure.
So you pretty much have to understand their journey, right? In business development, we call it journey mapping. You need to understand the customer's journey. And sometimes you don't necessarily have to come up with a brand new idea. You just need to look at what is currently being done and what can you do to add value. Now that value addition is really very important. You can desire to just create a niche for yourself by doing that.
Okay.
Now, once you empathize,
A niche meaning a market.
A market that is very much focused, a very focused market that you want to focus your business or your product service on. Now, once you identify this problem, you have to validate, not because Binta or 1, 2, 3 people tell you that this is a problem, that means it's a problem, or this is a need, that means it's a need. You have to validate. You look at how big is it as a problem. Can I commercialize this? All right. Is this in line with what I want to do? All right. So once, do I have the skill sets? Do I have the resources? Where will I get the resources from?
So are you saying that entrepreneurs should choose what the kind of solution they are trying to provide or the kind of a problem they want to address?
No. So it's important that when you identify a problem by talking to people or by observing, you have to validate that, but also you don't want to just go into something that you don't love doing.
Okay.
Because I tell you, the journey of an entrepreneur is not as easy as people see. People think. So you have to make sure this is something that is in line with your values. This is something that you definitely want to do because you want to do it, because you want to solve a problem.
Sure.
The moment you're very clear as to what you really want to do, and this is an idea that you really want to implement, you then have to make sure you assemble the right team. You have to make sure you assemble the right team. People that have the same vision like you. Don't just bring people into your business because you think they are your friends. You can desire to bring your friends, but based on principles that they are going to come and help you to achieve the vision that you all desire.
Yeah, but our society is guided by norms and values, and you as an individual in the society, can you start a business without employing your family or a friend? That will be very hard.
I mean, so I don't think it's hard.
Okay.
See, we make it hard on ourselves.
Really?
Yes. Okay. So, in fact, the first thing you do, remember, as a business is you, the founder of the business, the first thing you do is you separate yourself entirely from the business.
Very important.
You are an individual, and the business is an individual of its own. That is the first thing. So once you separate yourself from the business, whoever comes into the business is an individual and not the business. All right. Okay. So even if you hire a family member, you make sure you hire them based on set criteria, based on terms of reference that they know this is what I need to do, based on certain principles that this is what the business expects you to do. If you don't do this, this is what is going to happen. So you treat your family or whoever you bring into the business the same as the way you treat yourself, and you make sure they, the interest of the business supersedes your personal interest, supersedes even the interest of whoever you hire into the business. So once you have that mindset, and we have to learn to say no. I know it can be very hard, but until we learn to say no as entrepreneurs, it will be very difficult for us to really have a headway in our businesses.
The saying no might be a very difficult habit or attribute for someone to adopt, because you are living in a society that believes in socialization. Now they are seeing you doing one thing, But then when you said no, people would term you as a bad person, which one can also argue that is one of the main contributing factors why businesses don't grow out, why businesses don't last longer in Africa compared to other continents across the globe. So which might be another, can you share a case study?
So I think when you say no, you say no politely, all right? Or you can even say no and give them suggestions.
Important.
That's important.
Yeah.
So a successful entrepreneur in the Gambia always says this, and I will quote from him. He said, "It is better for people to see you as the bad person today, and tomorrow you're the good person, than they see you as the good person today and tomorrow you're the bad person."
Absolutely.
So before you're able to help people, it's good to help people, all right?
Sure.
You can help people from your own personal income, but not from your business's income. Because when you milk your business until your business is dead, now you will not be able to help yourself, neither will you be able to help the other people. So you have to make sure the business is fully established, and you make sure that business can take care of your needs, and in return you can take care of the needs of whoever you want to take care of. But if you start taking money from your business, what's going to happen is it's end of month and you're not able to pay rent. It's end of month, you're not able to buy more raw materials.
Absolutely.
It's end of month, you cannot pay your staffs, and then it all comes back to you as the owner of the business. So it is important that you understand some of these basic things when you actually running your business.
It's actually important because I at one time I also experienced the same thing, especially if you are a sole entrepreneur. And one time I was talking with one of my mentors, and then he was asking me about pricing. She was rather asking me about pricing, and then I never included electricity bills and all that. I'm like, I'm working at home. And she was like, okay, if you go to Nawek, do you tell them, do they give you their Casper for free? I said, no. And she was like, all this has to be included. And that means separating yourself from the business, carrying out your business needs as it should. So I would like you to share a case study with our audiences.
Case study on say no.
The one you said earlier.
Okay, so here it is. Let's say you are an entrepreneur and you realize that. Let me just pick it up from the watermelon, from a watermelon, right?
Sure.
You observe your community, and one of the things that you see is during the watermelon season, farmers, they spend so much time, so much of their energy and resources cultivating these watermelons. And by the time they bring this watermelon to the market, and they are not able to sell off all the watermelon they bring into the market, what ends up happening is it perishes.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah.
And when it perishes, it even causes bad odor in the communities. Now, but also you also realize that when you go to supermarkets, sometimes you find watermelon juices there.
Yeah.
And you start asking yourself, where are those watermelon juices coming from? All right?
Yeah.
Now, instead of complaining about all these problems, what you need to do is to first empathize with the people. When you understand what their problems are, now you have to define what the actual problem is, because sometimes what happens is customers don't really know what their problems are. I have seen somebody who was drinking Wonjo, all right?
Yeah.
And she told me, man, like local drinks, I don't like local juice. And the first thing that comes to my mind was, if you provide this person with
Canned drinks.
No, if you provide this person with all the varieties of local drinks, is he going to take it?
Okay.
Let's say, for example, Bisap or Baoba or, all those local juices. But then when we dig deeper and try to understand what the actual problem is, we realize that the problem was not local juice. The problem was with the particular local juice that she was drinking.
Okay.
It's because the local juice stays longer in the fridge, and there was no electricity, and the taste changes.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Yeah.
So sometimes these customers don't even know their problem.
Yeah.
Now it is important, you as an entrepreneur, to ask the right questions. When you ask the right questions, you get the right answers. Now, when you define what the actual problem is and you are able to establish that this is the problem, then you go to the solution mode That is where, if you have a team, you can start brainstorming with your team as to what is the ideal solution for this problem. Now,
before you continue, I would like to note something. Okay, you see the watermelon seller. Like you said earlier, you need to know your problem. Like, watermelon is a perishable good, and it needs a certain temperature or condition. Now, you as a seller, you must make sure your watermelons are in that condition. Of course, market will not go as good as it always been. You would sometimes encounter certain setbacks, but also it's important to know your goods. How long would it take? How can you take care of them for them to last longer? So that was a little I wanted to share.
But also, you see, agriculture is very wide. It is a value chain. I can choose not to go into production, but I will go into value addition.
Sure.
Now, if from your customer research and everything else, you understand the problem of this farmer, or you understand the problem of the person selling the watermelon.
Sure.
You can decide to say, I don't have to go and cultivate watermelon, but I can buy watermelon from this person before it even perish.
Sure.
And then I can process it, package it, brand it very nicely, and start supplying hotels and supermarkets and sell. Okay? So what you just did there is you've created a business.
Yeah.
All right. At the same time, you've also solved the problem of the watermelon seller who is thinking of, after next week, if I'm not able to sell, I have to, everything is gonna go to waste. Now you're able to solve the problem for that watermelon seller.
Absolutely.
So that is what entrepreneurship really is. All right. So going back to getting the idea right. After you get the idea right, you then have to go into the implementation of those ideas. Now, in terms of implementation, this is where you have to get your costings right. And how do you get your cost right? You first have to understand the drivers of your costs. All right. How much money do you spend in that business, or in making that product, or in executing or providing that service? All right. Now here you have to look at all your costs. Then you also have to look at the market price.
Yeah.
People that are selling similar kinds of goods in the market, how much are they selling those goods for? Right? Now, once you establish that, you also have to understand how much are customers willing to pay for that similar good or product or services. Then you can now put your margin on it. Now, if you charge too high, what is going to happen is you will not make sales.
That was what I was
Now, if you charge too low, you might not also make profit.
Absolutely.
So you make sure you charge at an affordable cost where customers can buy, and you also make your profit. Now, when you make this profit, you try to reinvest part of this profit into the business. That is how your business will grow. But if you eat your entire profit, your business can never grow.
That takes us back to separating yourself from your business.
Exactly.
Which is also very important. Now, when you look at your competition, you might want, as you are coming in, you might be excited to see your competitors doing this, and you also want to do something different. But do you have to tag your price to or equivalent to the price of your competitor as an entrepreneur?
No, that depends on. So you don't have to say, because Binta is charging $50, I'm going to charge $50.
Sure.
You need to focus on your own cost. All right.
Yeah.
And then you looked at the other variables.
Yeah.
How much customers are willing to pay and how much they or your competitors are charging. But that doesn't mean that you have to charge based on your competitors' cost. Maybe the drivers of their costs are even more expensive than your cost, or maybe it's more cheaper than your cost. So you cannot just pick your price based on their price. Now, you've just mentioned something that is very important, and I think that has a correlation to having a very good position in the market, especially when you are new. The first thing you have to do is you need to identify a need that people highly value. Now, once you're able to identify what that need is, you have to make sure you deliver what you promise. All right?
Yeah.
Now, but unfortunately in the Gambia, what I have seen is with most businesses, not all actually, but with most businesses, when they start new, they provide the best service, top notch, everything looks great. All right? But few couple of months down the line, they start declining the quality of their service.
As soon as they have customers.
Exactly. And what that does is customers will start going away, running away.
Sure.
And the moment these customers start running away, we will start complaining, Gambians, then Bugalu is.
Yeah.
But I mean, every customer wants to try a new experience, right? So that consistency is very important.
Yeah.
First, you identify need that customers highly value. You make sure you provide that need, and when you're providing that need, make sure it is consistent. And thirdly, you have to make sure you differentiate yourself from what is existing in the market, and that is the only way that you can stay in that market and continue running your business successfully as an entrepreneur.
That is an important point to note. I was once in a conference, and the lady said, Gambians are so fond of bahnanon, which is aligned with what you just said right now. When you are too comfortable with what you have, and then you just lose track of your value and everything that your customers look up to you. You just relax and you say, bahnanon, as long as I have customers, which can drive your customers away and will give chance to your competitors. And I don't think any business should be working towards losing your customers to your competitors.
Yeah, certainly. When you have a business idea that is not scalable, then there's a problem with your business idea. A good business idea needs to be scalable.
Okay.
You cannot be doing the same thing at the same level for so many years, and you are just stuck at that one place at the same level. Your business you need to be able to scale your business, and whether you know it or not, all right. Every day, every minute, every second, every hour, somebody is sitting somewhere thinking about how to make a difference. So if you are in a particular market and you become very comfortable with that limited number of customers you have, and you refuse to innovate, before you realize, someone else will come and take over your market. And then you start struggling. So in fact, that is why the issue of customer research is very important. And this is an iterative process. You don't just do it when you want to identify a business idea. You always need to seek feedbacks from your customers. All right? And the more feedbacks you get, you also continue improving on your products, you continue improving on your services, and as you go, you go with the trends, because things are changing. Customers' needs and their wants and the way they like things always keeps on changing. But if you don't, if you're not very close to your customers to understand these things, you just get stuck, and someone will just come and overtake you in the race.
Customer relationship. And another thing also I would like to say is the entrepreneur has to be curious, always wanting to learn. That is when you will see other things, or that is when you will see new methods of doing things and different things, which will also help an individual to go a long way. Now, if an entrepreneur already have an idea, now willing to scale, what are the things that the individual needs? You talked about earlier about a pitch deck, and what other things does an entrepreneur need, or someone who is aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so you see, that scalability have to be in your mind from day one.
Okay.
All right? Now, if that is in your mind from day one, what you need to do is make sure you are able to prudently reinvest your profits back to the business. That is one way that you can scale your business. But in scaling your business also, you need to be ready. All right? You need to have the right team, because at some point you cannot run the business alone. When you get to a stage where you need to scale up, obviously you need team members to work with.
Sure.
You need to make sure you hire the right people. Now, one mistake you must never do is to create positions for people in your team. Your business needs to require or needs to need certain services. Then you can hire the right people to fill into those positions, so that you can deliver the right value that you want to deliver to your customers.
Okay.
Now, it's important to assemble the right team. It's important to have set goals, all right? That these are my targets, these are my goals, and then you start working towards those goals. Now, it's also important to have a pitch deck. Now, most of the time, people will complain that there are certain institutions giving grants, but the grant amount is not really much. I mean, those grants is not for you to scale your business. Those grants is for you to consolidate whatever idea you have, is to help you have a strong footing.
Meaning there are different stages of grants.
Yes. So at that point, you might need investments. So the first investment is you need to be able to plow back your profits back into the business. The other options is you might want to go for partnerships. You might want to go for equity financing. You might want to go for loans, which I don't really advise, because if you want to take loans also, you have to make sure your business is at a stage where you can pay back those loans without having any hitches in terms of your business. The cash flow has to be there as it is. You know, in fact, so many entrepreneurs will come to me and say, I want to go to the bank, or I want to go to Mr. X or institution X to take a loan. The first thing I ask is, do you have what it takes to take the loan? All right. Now, most entrepreneurs also have the problem. They just go into taking loans, and the loans that they cannot even pay back. Now, there are certain things that you have to look within your business before you take the loan. First, what is the loan amount? All right. What is the interest rate? What are the terms of the payment? All right. Then you go back to your business and look at how much customers do I have? All right. If I get this loan, where am I going to invest this loan? And if I invest this loan into this particular, if I buy this particular equipment, or I invested in this particular set of, let's say, what you want to do within your business. Now, and I sell. Now, if I sell every month, the amount of money that I have, the revenue for that particular month, am I able to pay the loan? Whatever amount it is, am I able to pay that? But even before that, am I able to cover my cost? All right, am I able to cover my cost? Am I able to pay for that loan with the interest attached to it? Okay, will I still have some amount of money saved for my business? Will there be cash flow? Will I be cash flow positive? But if your answer to these questions are no, then your business is not yet ready to take that loan.
I think before, in fact, an entrepreneur will talk about taking loan, you should learn the fundraising skills. Yes. How can you raise funds without actually taking loan? Because loans will stretch you, especially if you are just coming up as a young entrepreneur. It is. In fact, if you are a startup, for me, it's a no-go area. Now, as an entrepreneur, you need to be resourceful. Right? There's this saying that your network is your net worth. The amount of good people you know will determine how much money you have in your bank account. Absolutely. So I think that is important. And as entrepreneurs, all right, we have to first look at resources within. Say, for example, I give an example of an entrepreneur that I met in one of the regions. This entrepreneur went to a certain vocational technical school within the region and studied electrical installation for 2 years. All right, and so 6 months down the line, after his graduation, he's never installed even a light bulb as a contract for anyone. And when I asked him, what he said was, he doesn't have money to buy the equipment or the tools he needs to actually work with, you know. And so we advise him to just go look for contracts, all right. And when he got the contracts, within his class, he know there are people that are already doing the job. So he just contacted them, and then he went with them and then do the installation. He got his money, they got their money. He was able to use part of that money to buy few tools to work with. So he did that for a couple of times, and he was able to stand alone. So you have to look at yourself within. Collaboration. You collaborate. Let's say I am into vegetable production, all right? But right now, I do not have the money to buy the seedlings. All right, but you are an entrepreneur, and your business is you sell seedlings. All right, we can have a mutual agreement. You supply me, you be my supplier. You supply me with the seedlings, I cultivate and then pay you back. Sure. You know, you don't have to go out, you know, and take a huge loan that you cannot, at the end of the day, paying back that loan with the interest rate becomes very high on you, and you know. Just the interest rate that you're going to pay, if you take that out of your business, that's a huge chunk of your business money that is going. So you have to be resourceful. You know, I know it's very challenging for some entrepreneurs if you tell them to partner because of issues of trust. But I think it is important that within
you as entrepreneurs, you're able to build that trust, you're able to rely on each other, you're able to transfer certain skill sets, and you're able to run your business.
That's a type of an entrepreneurship relationship. It's called partnership. You partner with people. You don't always have to do things on your own. You partner with people. But we will save that discussion for another day. So I want you to talk about pitching, registering of business, what is it, that thing that they need? Pitch, elevator pitch, and then a pitch deck itself, okay? And how they should navigate opportunities to raise funds for themselves. Yeah, that's what.
Again, in terms of getting access to some of those opportunities, I think it's important first your business is formalized.
Sure.
Because if you are in the informal sector, you're not counted.
Sure.
Right? It's very difficult for you to be counted, especially when there are certain opportunities. So the first thing is you formalize your business. And by registering your business at the AG chambers. And the first thing you do, by the way, is to get your business a name. That name search is very, very important. I mean, even in Islam, they will tell you when you have your child, the first thing you do is you give the child a very befitting name. All right, so you give your business. Your business is your child.
Sure.
So give your business a very befitting name.
Yeah.
And once you get the name, then you go to GRA, get your.
Does the name always have to be my name?
No. So business is very jealous. All right. Give it a very unique, catchy name. Now there are so many Bintas out there.
Sure.
All right. So it's risky, and it's not even advisable to. I know lots of people do that, but there are certain schools of thought that will tell you that you don't have to do that because of certain reasons.
Yeah.
So what is more important is give it a very befitting name that is unique, that no one else is using. All right. And once you do your name site, you are certain that this name is befitting, no one is using it, then you can now go to GRA. You can, and then acquire a TIN number. Now, you as an individual, if you already have a TIN number, you just need to take the same number to GRA, and they will be able to process a new TIN for you, TIN card with the same number, but they will add your business information on that TIN number. So that is what you use to go to the AG chambers.
And that's free.
Yeah. So that is what you use to go to the AG chambers, either at KMC, they have a single business registration there, or in Banjul, and register your business. And this is, I think, $500. So what you submit to them is they give you a form that you fill. You just attach a copy of your TIN number to it, and then your business is formalized.
Yes.
Now, once this business is formalized, you know now, okay, I need to pay tax, all right? I need to do certain things, but for you to pay that tax, you need to know how you go about paying that. You need to make sure you are keeping records so that you know how much your revenue is and how much you're supposed to pay for tax.
Sure.
All right. So when you go to you don't need to sit down and wait for GRA to come to you and tell you have to pay tax.
Sure.
The fact that you have that TIN number, you need to pay tax.
Yeah.
So it's important that you go to GRA and then you find out. All right, how much am I supposed to pay? What's supposed to be, what percentage of my revenue am I supposed to pay? When and how do I file my tax? Do I file my tax every 3 months, every 6 months, or annually? So you work that out with GRA, and then you open your file. Now you need to have a separate bank account. This account is specifically for your business. So these are fundamental things that you need to have in your business. Now you want to raise funds, it's important for you to have a pitch deck.
Absolutely.
All right. Now this pitch deck, you can always use it to present it to investors, to present it to. Now we have so many pitching competitions happening all over globally, not just in the Gambia. You can always, and these are things that they will ask for.
Sure.
Is your business registered? Do you keep records? Is it consistent? Do you have a business bank account? Do you have a pitch deck? So as a business, you need to have these things at hand, readily available.
And you just don't jump to it.
So that when the opportunities come, you are already there, and you present it, and then hopefully you just need to go and defend whatever your business is, and then you avail yourself the opportunities. But you don't have to sit and wait until opportunities come, and then they just pass you, and then you start complaining.
Sure.
All right. So I think it's important as a startup, you get all these prerequisites and prepare yourself for whatever opportunity that might come your way to be able to raise those funds.
Which is very important. I think another thing also is you have to be ready in all aspects. You have to be willing, especially a pitch deck is not something that you can just haphazardly do. You have to know the focus of the competition. What are you pitching about? How can you convince people to know actually what you are trying to tell them?
So just like how your business plan is not a Quran, your pitch deck also is not a Quran. So, yeah, I mean, you need to, if you want to pitch your business to investors or to customers or to a certain audience or in a competition, you need to know who your audience are, and then you tailor your message or your pitch deck based on those people.
Absolutely.
So what I meant by you need to have a pitch deck is you need to have a one page that summarizes your entire business. All right. Now, depending on where you are presenting that pitch deck, you can always tweak it to fit whoever you are presenting it to.
Exactly.
So, if I am interested in healthcare and you are coming to me and telling me things about education or something else, I'm like, no.
That's
you know. So you need to understand who you are pitching to, what are they interested in, and serve them the message that they wanted to hear.
Sure.
So that is very important as well. Yeah.
Another thing also is, although now people are trying to run away, but it still exists in the entrepreneurship realm, is a business plan. A business plan, just like the way you explained right now, to have a full summary of what you are capable, what your business is all about, how you're going to market it, your team, your resources, your inflow of money and outflow of money, and also an elevator pitch. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so basically, the business plan serves so many purposes. All right? One might build a business plan because he or she wants to get investment. One might build a business plan to serve as a roadmap, as a guide, not just for him, but for his or her team. All right? So, but whatever the case might be, it is important for you as a business owner to have a plan. And this plan, obviously, a lot of people will say, I have the plan in my head. But it's just like you have your vision. But if you do not share this vision with your stakeholders, if you do not share this vision with your team, you cannot carry them along.
No.
So it's important you have this vision, you have this business plan, well articulated, written down, all right? So that your team members will understand what the business wants to achieve. Because in your business plan, you will explain your value, the value you want to give or you want to sell. You will explain your business goals, your goals for the next 3 years, your goals for the next 5 years. And this can be financial goals, right? This can be operational goals, right? So you have to make sure these things are well articulated in your business plan. You need to make sure you also talk about the resources that are needed for your business and the available resources.
Which is actually the smart.
Exactly.
Things,
Especially your operational plan needs to be very clear. Because
specific.
Sometimes you don't have to be there, and so your team needs to know how to operate in the business.
In your absence.
In your absence. So these things have to be detailed out. You have to talk about your finances, your cash flow statements, your balance sheet, your financial projections, even your budget. Now your projections, annually, every 2 years, every 3 years, every 5 years. Now all these things are important for you to have. And you also need to be able to analyze your strengths, your weaknesses, the threats and opportunities, just so you prepare yourself for what might come. All right? But again, these things, like I said, it's not Quran. All right? So as scenarios change, you can always update. All right? You have a new product, you have a new service, or certain things are changing, the people's needs in the markets are changing, so you need to continue changing and evolving based on the current needs of the market, based on the current needs of the people that you are selling to. That's important.
Which is very, very important, because you need all these informations to be there and to be investor ready as a business person. Either you are a sole entrepreneur or either you are in partnership with someone. This is also important to know.
But how do you get this information?
Sure.
the market research is key. You see, you cannot put the cart before the horse. All right, you need to have the horse and have the cart behind. It's just like when you're building a house. If the foundation is not strong, along the way you realize the house building will start cracking. So the foundation of every business is a thorough market research to understand the needs of the customers, and then you able to deliver a value for them. Because it doesn't matter, no matter how good your product looks, no matter how fancy, no matter how flashy it is, if it doesn't have any value for people, if it doesn't, I mean, no one will care.
Absolutely.
All right? So you need to make sure you have the right product market fit. You have the right product for the right market at the right time. Once you're able to develop that and you are consistent in that, you just need to continue executing your plans. All right? Knowing that you also have to continue evolving as things change, as things evolve. Yeah.
I think the business model canvas summarizes all that for you
Certainly.
within a one template, which is also very very important. Yet you need to be very careful and, as you said, know what you're doing to be able to feel that. We are coming to the end of the program now. What advice do you have for young entrepreneurs?
So the advice I have for young entrepreneurs is don't wait for opportunities to come. You have to go out and look for those opportunities. All right? You have to go look for those opportunities, knowing that it's not going to be easy. Because what happens is what we see outside is as a result of so many years of hard work that those successful entrepreneurs put out there. But because you see a successful entrepreneur driving a very fancy car, he's traveling everywhere, everybody is talking about his or her business, and you just want to be like that person. You have to go through a process. You have to take so many baby steps. It's going to be very hard. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to go very broke. But you have to be resilient.
But in some instances, you will see entrepreneurs telling you, like, I did this and became successful. I did this and became. Now, when you get into the entrepreneurship journey, now you are like, okay, am I doing things differently? Like, what is wrong? I think sometimes the wrong information is put to people. Like, success in entrepreneurship does not come just like that.
Success in entrepreneurship comes through so many sleepless nights. When everyone is sleeping, you are awake trying to make that dream come true. All right? You're going to go broke. If you are not careful, you will even lose some of your friends because they will think that you don't have their time anymore, but because you want to build your dream business. All right? So my advice is you don't have to sit and wait for opportunities. You have to get up and go look out for those opportunities, and when you get those opportunities, you need to make sure you are prepared for those opportunities as well. And then when you grab the opportunities, you have to make sure you work towards attaining that dream, knowing that it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, but you have to be persistent until and unless you reach your vision. You will not quit. So once you have that mindset, you just keep grinding, and when you keep grinding, the end will always be an icing in the cake for you.
And in some instances, when opportunities arises, you don't have to do it alone. You can also partner with other entrepreneurs to work it out. Like they say, 2 heads are better than 1.
If I'm a poultry farmer and a supplier, a business reach out to me and say, I want you to supply me with 500 crates of egg, and I know right now I can only produce 200 or 300. What stops me from reaching out to Binta, knowing that Binta is also a poultry farmer, and ask Binta, okay, I have this contract to supply 500 crates, but I can only supply 300. How many crates can you supply? You say 100, but I know Lamin also is a poultry farm. Then you reach out to Lamin say, okay, I have 100 crates. You put your 500 crates together, supply. I take my money for my 300. You take your money for your 100 crates. Lamin take his money for his 100 crates. It's a win-win situation. So these are some of the things that we have to start thinking about. I definitely know entrepreneurs that are doing this, and it's really working out very well for them. So the more we collaborate, the more we share resources, the more we support each other as an ecosystem, as entrepreneurs, we will be able to grow together. Because at the end of the day, remember, our sole purpose is to, as entrepreneurs, is to make sure we solve a problem. And in doing so, we become profitable.
Absolutely.
All right? So we should not forget about our why. Why do we choose to do what we do? If you're very clear as to what you want to do and the reason that keeps you going, you continue grinding, and then you'll be able to solve so many problems, working together harmoniously with other people to attain your why.
Very vital, very vital. Now, Muhammed, share your final words now. We are at the end of the program.
So my final words, I will just reiterate the importance of your why. It's important as a business person to know why do you want to, as an entrepreneur, why do you want to venture in a particular business? As you do, make sure you're also prepared for sucks. You don't have to wait for something to happen and you start thinking about, oh, what should I do? Prepare yourself. Know that business is not easy. There are so many risks attached to it, and so you have to make sure you prepare yourself for some of those risks. Make sure you are able to reinvest your profits back into the business. Be careful not to take loans that are going to kill your business, and most importantly, also make sure you assemble the right team to help you execute your business.
Thank you very much for honoring our invitation, and we are very glad to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, viewers, that brings us to the end of the program today. Be ready to learn, have an idea, work hard, raise fund. Those were the words of Muhammed Danso. I'm the program coordinator of the Startup Incubator. Until next time, my name is Binta Ceesay, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.